Hi, I'm Esther Branco Diaz from the Purim Trust, and this past year has been really tough out in the Philippines, not just for the children that we sponsor, but for those people that we partner with and whose projects we support. And I'm going to have a chat now with one of our partners who's in Tondo in Manila in the Philippines. And I'm joined right now by Pastor Herbie. Hi, Herbie.
Hi, hello everyone. Hi, hello Esther. Nice to see
Hi.
you and nice to see everyone who's watching and who's listening right now.
Oh, well, it's really good to see you because it's been a long time since I've seen you in person. It's been far too long, especially with all the COVID restrictions, but it's great to see you. We send you our greetings out there, and I just wanted to catch up with you. But before I do that, I wondered, can you share a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you live?
Right now I born in Tondo, grew up here and decided to still here in Tondo, Manila, Philippines. And I'm pastoring a church right now in the heart of Manila, where it's Tondo, and where it's one of the most densely populated around the globe. That is the place where I am living right now, pastoring these kinds of people. And yeah, I married with two children, 21 and 20 years old, married for 22 years with my wife Charlita, who's also born, raised here in Tondo, same place. Yeah, that's who I
Yeah.
am.
Which is amazing. And we're going to do another interview with you just to hear a bit more about your journey and your story, because you've got some amazing testimonies of your life and what's taken you up to this point now to stay where you are and do what you do. But for now, I just wanted to catch up with you a little bit because we always share about how you're in Tondo and the children that we help support through you are in Tondo, but they're really in a more isolated area because not all of Tondo is poor, is it?
Yeah, but most not actually the 100%, but at least 60 to 70% are poorest of the poor. Yeah.
Yes, and I will always remember those times that I've come to Tondo with you because it's really been some of the things that you showed me and the children that you introduced me to that also set me on this path of wanting to help partner with you because your work is inspirational. And right now, as it stands, we're able with the Pure Trust to support 50 children through you and your team in Tondo, which is such a blessing. And we send a lot of thanks to those people who donate and support those children through us because we're privileged to be part of that. But I wondered, Herbie, if you could share with us a little bit about the areas that you work in, which is Happy Land. It's called Happy Land, isn't it, around there? And what life is like for the children there. And while you tell us a bit, we're going to show some video images of a little bit while you explain what it's like there.
Yeah. It's an honor and a privilege for me right now, to explain the kind of places that we are living, the children are living in right now. And I'm really glad that you have pictures to show, because putting this scenario, putting all this way of life of the children, it's so hard to put all this thing into words. And I don't know if, living on the other parts of the world and us living here, I don't know how really to put everything here into words. But these people who lives here in Tondo, especially the children, it's a kind of place where I think unimaginable today, because first, children are not exaggerations, but most of the children here can just have a meal for a 1 day meal, or sometimes if there is like a blessing, that's going to be a 2 day meal for them. For that reason, many of these children are, you know, eating the leftover from the garbage, leftover from the, I mean, not in the garbage, but in the restaurants, from food that coming from Jollibee, McDonald's, KFC, Kentucky, and it's already been dumped on the truck, been thrown here in the garbage, and where people will segregate, take those picture, take those whatever leftover food. They call it in the Filipino language called pagpag, which means dust it off, like take away all those like worms or or whatever garbage that was already into that food, and then recook it again, wash it, recook it, and then they're eating that. And most of the children living here are living into a like a $2 or to maybe a maximum of $3 per day, with our kids of around 5 to 7 children living in this area with no birth certificates, with coming from a different backgrounds of people here in the Philippines, going here in Tondo because of the shanties, because of the place where they can easily build whatever houses that they can build. And so because of that culture, it became one of the most dangerous place to live, because when people have different background, coming from different provinces here in the Philippines, there's always violence, there's always war going on because of the dialect, because of the background of all those people coming in one place. So it's not really a good environment to live. This is the kind of um, place where children are growing when they don't have the birth certificates, like a registrations of their names, because most of these children born only here in the house with just an experienced midwife, giving birth with all those mothers. And for that reason, many are out of school youth, many are having really no chance to prioritize their educations. And this place really, became a place where people have the mindset that if they can just go here in Tondo, you know, by the way, Tondo is a place where the shipment, the train station, and the bus station, are in the middle of it. It means that most of the people who will travel from the provinces going to to Manila area, this is going to be an entry point or a port area where they can just go from different place here in Manila. And when they found out that they can set up whatever in the squatters, in the byways, under the bridge, they can set up their own houses. Those people, most of the people that came from the province, and then they found out that there's no work available, they will stay in Tondo. That's the reason why it became the most densely populated in the globe, like per square meter. So you'll see thousands of children here in Tondo. Thousands of children uneducated, thousands of children lacking foods, malnourished, with having parents that have no work, I mean, no source of income. So that's why I'm glad that you have pictures to show, Esther, because so that I can put more words into it. And yeah, it's a tough area actually to live. Very tough area. Not easy. Not easy.
No, and and you have a church, don't you, right there in the heart of all of this that's going on. And can you tell people how many people attend your church when you're not in restrictions due to COVID?
Before the last attendance that we reached already 1,500 to 1,800 people. Close to
Wow.
2,000 actually. Close to 2,000 people, because I know we came to a point that we don't want to bring people in church anymore, but we bring the church to the people. It's
Yes.
our time actually to really let the people not just hear the message, but actually experience it, the love of Jesus, the power of the gospel, through this helping people, through creating an impact, through actions, through just being there with these people. And I think that create really a big impact to the community right now, when there's no restriction, when there's no lockdown happen yet. People
Yeah.
are lining up before they can attend the church. Every Sunday we're having 6 services in church. So we're really having a good problem, because
Yeah.
preaching every Sunday 6 times a week. We also
Yeah.
have Saturday for the young people, and weekdays, and going there to the people where they are.
Yeah.
It's an amazing job. It's an amazing calling, and it's really a privilege to be with these people.
Well, it's definitely a calling, isn't it? Because it's your life. You're such a busy person. I remember the last time I came to see you, And on a Sunday, it's literally a few hundred people in for one service, out. The next few hundred people come in for the next service and out. And I can remember on a Saturday, you're out, aren't you, with the children? And you have hundreds of children who come, and you have a feeding program, and it's incredible. Just the amount of things that you and your team do each week.
It's true. It's true, Esther. And that's the kind of the thing that we are really missing right now. To see the people, see the children in one sitting, 600 to 800 children every week, right on the basketball court, an open area where you will hear children laughing, children are worshiping Jesus, praying together, shouting the name of Jesus right in the middle of the slums. That's the kind of thing that we are really missing. And when we are seeing those old people, street dwellers, those young people who are sometimes drunk, attending church, we are really missing all those kind of things right now. Those actions, those embrace, those hugs, where people are not used to that, especially the children, with all
Yeah.
those embrace, with all those hugs. They're not really used to that. And now we are in lockdown, but in church we are really missing that right now.
I bet, because tell me a bit about this past year, because with COVID, you've had a lot of restrictions and a lot of different lockdowns, because you're in lockdown now, aren't you? But tell me what it's been like this past year.
Oh my, I that's the kind of thing really actually will really break your hearts, because I know there's a statement that I one time the Holy Spirit dropped into my heart, like when bad became unbearable. That is exactly what is happening to the people. Before the pandemic, they're already having a big challenges, problems when regards to their food. They need to go out to collect the garbage, so that after they get the junk from the garbage, they're gonna go to the junk shop, sell it, so that they can have food on their table. Some will go out for pedicab, some will go out for construction workers. Some people that are working in the factory, or in a small company, can go out to just get a small amount of money to put food on their table. But imagine, they're already experiencing those bad things every day, and now this pandemic hit, and the government have, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the government really have no good system to provide for the food of all these people. And so those 2 meals a day, getting a small amount of money to go out to get for food, to have a good work. But now, because of the restrictions, people cannot go out. People cannot even to drive a pedicab. A pedicab is like, that's the transportation that we are using here, like a tricycle here in Tondo. People not cannot even go that or do that. People cannot even go out from their house to play, or the kids to play, and the parents cannot even go out. They will be charged or be arrested by the barangay or by the police when they
Wow.
are going out. So I mean, it's when bad became unbearable, the most dangerous thing that we are praying right now, for how long these people can keep it from their hearts not to do any violent, not to do any crime.
Yeah.
For how many months they can keep their peace, not to do anything. That is why Esther, and to all those who are listening right now, the prayers, the gospel that they are hearing, I think these are the only reasons why these people are suppressing the emotions, suppressing the anger, suppressing the. I mean, these are the thing that only stopping, I think, these people not to do any crime, because when your children are crying for food, when your wife, when the family are dying for food, not from COVID, not from the coronavirus, but people are more afraid in dying for hunger. For I don't know for how many months this thing will go on, and then people will just stay in their house and not do anything. So we are really praying for this. We are really praying for this, and thank God for those people who sent food, who sent, which maybe I'm gonna discuss that later, about the
Yeah.
provisions, the blessing that you shared to us here in Tondo.
Well, we will talk about that most definitely, because it's a way that people can help. But I think, like you said, just for people to pray for those families that you're working to help in
Yes.
Tondo, because the level of desperation just must be so big.
Mhm.
I can't it makes me feel very like I want to cry just hearing about what you're all experiencing and what you're seeing, that there must be something that we can do to help. And I wondered, Herbie, could you tell me a little bit about what effect you've seen that these restrictions is having on the children? Because I think, am I right, with the restrictions that you've had ongoing for a long time, the children have not really been able to go out very much at all.
Yeah, before the children, when they are going out playing, for some people, I don't know if you were just going to get this thing, because when you play, it's just like, for people, it's just a part of their growing up as a children. But here, to be honest, those children who can go out on the streets, it actually forgetting them, the hunger that they have, because they can just play, they can just collect things from other people, they can ask from other people some food, some coins, some money. You've been there, Esther, you saw it, that people will just run to you asking for money, begging for food, asking for whatever, from biscuits or from anything, even from a leftover soft drinks from your hand or from your
Yeah.
bottled water. They will just even ask for that. So when they cannot have that, they will play just to forget the hunger. But if they cannot go out to play, if they cannot even go out to ask for whatever food from the people, if they're not cannot even get help for, I mean, like, for people to give them, or cannot go out for scavenging, because this is one of the source of income of the parents and their children. They are going out house to house collecting the garbage, and people will pay for them for the garbage that they're going to collect. And from there, from that garbage, they will take whatever they can get, that whatever that will benefits them, they're going to sell that. Even that, they cannot do it right now. They are stuck in their home. They cannot go out for begging. They cannot go out to play. Mentally, physically, emotionally, I mean, this really been affecting too much. All these children right now are being so affected. Not just only children, even the parents.
Yeah.
But most importantly, the kids, the children, those kids that who cannot really, you know, it's easy to stay in the house if you have television, internet, good water, good food.
Yeah.
But when you stay in a house, 5 meters, 5 square meter house, where you have 7 children minimum, sometimes in one family there are total about of 10 to 12 people. We're just talking about only one family. And then you stay in a 5 meters, where the bathroom is there, where everything is already in that one house. How can you stay? How can you just get get the comfort to just take rest and sleep? I mean, people are sleeping, not lying their back. People are sleeping here, in a sitting position, because we are used to, people will just, you saw it, Esther, that people sometimes just lying on the streets. Kids are
Yeah.
just playing. Kids are just, whatever a space that they can find, like under the bridge, on the sideways, on the small alley, on a cart, on a pedicab, they can sleep there. But because we are in a lockdown right now, with this quarantine, everybody need to stay home. That's the big challenge right now. I mean, more family, more people inside the house, and then they cannot even lay down their back to sleep. So most of them, they're sleeping in a sitting position. That's how crowded in one house right now. Every day happening.
I just can't comprehend it. Even when I've been to Happy Land and I've spent some time with you out there and visiting people,
Yeah.
everybody's outside,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's busy and there's a lot of activity going on. And I just can't comprehend living there and having to stay in your small home, which is crowded and cramped. But on top of that, Herbie, recently you've had torrential floods. And my
Yeah.
heart I felt like my heart broke seeing it, because you've got extreme difficult
Mm.
living conditions. You add to that lockdown restrictions, no food, no income, no provisions, and then you're flooded. Please tell me how that's been, and what problems that's caused as well from the floods.
That flood, actually, we never even expected that. That's gonna be that damaging, because after those 8 days of non-stopping typhoon named Pavian, because of that non-stopping rain, the waters need to go high, and then the water dam need to be open. And when they open it with the non-stop raining, with the clog drainage, I mean, we never expected. And then we invested so much money, to have this rise because of the pandemic that we're experiencing. Our church, our leadership made a pledges to have this rice. In fact, we have 100 sacks of rice in one room. So we stored it up. We know that rain is always happening here. There's some flood a little bit. So we piled it up in a 3 pallet just to make it safe. But even those 3 pallets high, not even enough to really to really save all these 63 sacks of rice. I mean, those 100 sacks of rice, we are really saving that. It costs a lot of money for our people to really have to save that sacks of rice so that we can give to the people every Sunday, because the government cannot, have the system to really go house to house. Even the government are afraid to go because of the pandemic. No one will really go house to house and then distribute the food for them because of afraid of the virus. But our people, we never stop doing that. House to house every Sunday, making sure to hand them the 3 kilos of rice. And then this flood came. All those 63 sacks of rice, to be exact, is gone. We don't want to give that to the people. But in fact, there are still a lot of people that are asking for that wet rice being flooded from a dirty water. They're saying, Pastor Herbie, it's okay, give that rice to us. But we cannot take that from heart to give that kind of rice to the people. And then, yes, they're going to watch that. Yes, they're going to cook that. But it breaks our hearts to give, because we know that, because here in Tondo, when we say it's flooded, this is not a flood coming out also from the river, but these are the flood coming from under the drainage, where rats and dead animals, that can bring diseases, sickness, that can mix on the water, and then the water go to the rice. It will really harm the people. So with our closed eyes and heartbreaking, we cannot give this rice to them. I just told them. But we will just going to pray and believe that the Lord will provide in this kind of, this unbearable time, when flood hits Tondo, or the whole Manila, actually. But we will be the one, because we're very close to the sea, to the ocean, and then the drainage system are not really good. So when, we lost a lot of food that's supposedly for the people, to provide, to save them in these tough times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm so sorry to see that, because I know how badly you need those food supplies. I know that yourself and your church, you give so much because there's so much need around you. People are in desperate need of food. And I'm really grateful actually to those people who have sent us money so that we could give it to you. In this past year, we've just been so blessed and encouraged by people here, not just in the UK, but in Europe and in America, who've sent money to us specifically to provide food for families. Because I know that the children who are sponsored, their sponsorship money provides for that child's food for the month. But then you, like you said, you've got a whole family there of many siblings or parents or a grandparent who have nothing right now because of restrictions. So I just want to say a thank you to those people who've given, and just honor what they've done, because they've enabled us to pass that on to you. And we know that you've provided food for those families ongoing for the last year with restrictions. And also that from our own funds, we were able to give a bit to replace some of those rice sacks. But it never feels like enough, and we're believing for more so that we can send it to you. But can I ask you, Pastor Herbie, what difference do you think it might have made to some of these families who would have received some extra supplies for food through the COVID restrictions from people here in Europe who've given money for that purpose?
When people are giving, like, whatever amount of money, just to bless the people here, especially those, kids who lives in Tondo. You're not just actually giving food on their table, but the most important thing that these people are getting hope. When
Mm.
people are lose their hope to live, to continue in this life, it doesn't matter what kind of, you know, crime that they will do, what kind of sacrifices that they will be able to do just for the sake of their family. But the help that you're giving actually remind the people that there's still hope, that there are people that sometimes even don't know them, letting them know that they are not forgotten. There are still good people, Christian people, non-Christians, that who really believe that this one act of giving can really save those family that are really in needs. So this is not about actually just a food on the table to feed their stomach, but this is actually a hope that will push them to continue to live and to believe that there's really God who cares for them, and that there are really churches, people, Christians who really believes that people need to be loving one another. People need to bless people who are being blessed by God, who are being experiencing, maybe a little comfort or much more comfortable life compared to these children, to this family. So this is about hope. This is about love that being put into an action that really give the people to, a thoughts, a mindset. Because what we are doing right now, I'm not like putting myself into thoughts that we're just only helping people who attending church. No, that's not. But we are actually reaching out, especially those people that they that never even heard Jesus, never had this experience, the encounter, the gospel. So that's why this kind of tools for evangelism is really effective to really raise a family, to really remind, to really open up a door for these people. So what you're bringing, hope, the gospel, and at the same time you're helping us, giving us a powerful tools to really remind people that there is God who is real, who love them, and who really care for them. So it's a lot of good things happening when people give and when people experiencing the blessing from the other sides of the world, just like there in your connection in Purim trust with all those people, Esther, that are really believing in in what the Purim Trust been doing right now here in Tondo. I mean, cannot imagine without support, without help. We believe in God, of course, but with the help, with the partnership, with the friendship, with the relationship that we have, I mean, this hope, this gospel, and these tools for the people really becoming more effective, especially in these trying times.
Well, I know that God is the one doing the work, but he does it
Yeah,
through his people, doesn't he? He does it
exactly.
through friendship and relationship. And it's a great privilege for us, Herbie. Well, it's a great privilege that I ever got to meet you and to come and see this work that you're doing. And I'm humbled and privileged that we get to partner with you in all that you're doing. And we speak a blessing over that and an increase right now. But I think you hit the nail right on the head. It's about hope. And that's what I think child sponsorship does, is that it shows that child that not just that there are people who care about them and people who are rooting for them and wanting them to prosper and to do well, but like you said, it's sharing within that unconditional love of God. And that really is the only thing that works, isn't it? It's the love of God. And
Exactly.
so we're just I've been really touched by speaking with you today. It's made me want to weep again when I think about all that you guys are going through and these families out in the
Mm,
Philippines. We know that there is hope for them because the hope we have in God does not disappoint, but also it re-emphasizes this feeling and this knowledge that I have that we can always do a bit more. And so right now there are children on our website who are in need of sponsorship, who are in Tondo right now in the care of Pastor Herbie and his team. And people can head to the pureandtrust.org to sign up to sponsor a child. But also you can click the link to give to our COVID appeal so that we can give the money, 100% of the money that people give to us will go straight out to Herbie and his team. And we know that they get to work just passing that on to those who are most in need right now. So thank you, Herbie. It's been really good to catch up with you. Thank you for your time and sharing your heart for your people and this community that you live in. So we hope that we'll catch up with you again very soon for another chat. But
Anytime.
Yeah, bless you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll be back again soon at the Purim Trust. I'm sure to catch up with Herbie soon and with some more news and updates. We'll see you then.